Welcome back, guys. So this video comes out about a week, maybe 2 weeks after we had massive announcement that John Cena is retiring from in-ring competition. Now this makes me sad, but it also makes me happy. So John Cena was huge 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. I was a teenager then, so obviously his rapper gimmick, I really enjoyed the Dr. Orthogonomics gimmick. But also I'm happy because he gets to retire on his own way. He doesn't have to be injured or get too old or something like that. He gets to retire on his own. A lot of guys would like that perfect retirement, and I do think John Cena might get this. So what you asked me for is my 10 wrestlers that I think should be John Cena's last matches. Now you asked me for 10 guys that John Cena's never faced before. I'm just altering it a slight bit because I don't know if John Cena's maybe faced some of these guys on house shows or something like that I don't know about. So I'm just rather altering it and making it 10 guys that he didn't have a predominant feud with. I think that's a fair adjustment, except I might throw one in there. So let's get straight into the list, and do let me know your 10 wrestlers that you think John Cena should face before his retirement, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So at number 10 we have Cody Rhodes. I mean, this story writes itself. The face of the company versus the former face of the company for like 10-15 years. John Cena challenging Cody Rhodes. Both faces, neither one needs to particularly turn heel. Just this is more a match of respect than anything else. John Cena seeing if he can still hang with the face of the company, and Cody Rhodes seeing if he can take down the former face of the company. I think this match writes itself, and I do think it will be a pretty solid match. Number 9 is Carmelo Hayes. So Carmelo Hayes recently made his breakthrough on the main roster, and I think he's been doing absolutely phenomenal. He had a massive showing at Money in the Bank, and John Cena might be very famous for a certain match at Money in the Bank. Now that's got nothing to do with this list, but I just like to interweave some things in these lists. I do think Carmelo Hayes would bring out the best in John Cena. He would jump around and possibly sell like crazy for John Cena, and John Cena would have to move to keep up with this young absolute firecracker. I'm leaving that in the video. John Cena would have to move to keep up with this firecracker, and I just think this would be a solid match. Number 8 is Gunther. And why do I put Gunther here? Because that was literally John Cena's career. He had all these foreign heels to contend with and somehow managed to get the better of them. He had Khali, he had Rusev, he had Kozlov, he had all these guys to contend with and somehow just get over. And Gunther, I think if you look at all these foreign heels that John Cena's faced, I think Gunther is their final boss. So Gunther would put John Cena to the test, and he would just chop John Cena into a whole nother movie scene. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I do think Gunther versus John Cena would be an absolute instant classic. Number 7 is Bron Breakker. Now I'm filming this the week after Money in the Bank, and I think you guys are seeing this the Saturday after Money in the Bank, I think, if my schedule aligns the way I plan it to. So unfortunately Bron Breakker did not win the IC Championship. I do think he should have, but I do think at SummerSlam it might be his time. I don't know, I do think they want to do it at a big show. So I think after SummerSlam, the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam, maybe, this is just me fantasy booking, but I do think Bron Breakker should face John Cena. He comes out and he holds up the IC Championship and he says, I'm going to be champ for basically forever. Nobody can stop me, and I hereby have an open challenge. And there you hear John Cena's music hit, and Bron, he doesn't look scared, he doesn't look nervous, he looks excited. And I just think this would be, it harkens back to John Cena's US Open Challenge, and I just think this match would be absolute instant moneymaker. Number 6 and number 5 kind of goes together, and that's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. That is if the Judgment Day is still a thing by that time, but I'm booking what we currently know. So Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, almost said Finn Balor. Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio, what could be the story driving them to face John Cena? I think it could be as simple as, we got Edge out of this company. Now you already said you're retiring, but we want to get you out sooner. And then John wants to get his hands on Dom, and in steps the enforcer, Damian Priest. Rhea Ripley might get involved as well. I wouldn't mind that at all. Obviously nothing too physical, but maybe give John Cena a big boot or something like that. And then he first has to make his way through Damian Priest to be able to get his hands on Dom. But when he gets his hands on Dom, he must put an absolute whooping on Dom. Number 4 is Trick Williams. Now, maybe John Cena goes down to NXT. Maybe Trick Williams gets called up. I don't know. This is just fantasy booking for one simple reason. Before Trick Williams won his NXT championship, he asked John Cena for advice. So now Trick could turn heel on John Cena and go to Cena, maybe on the main card, maybe on NXT, saying, John, I asked you for advice once. Now it's time for me to give you some advice. Retire, old man, or I'll make you retire. And that could just be simple as that. He turns heel on John Cena and he calls him old man, and he just absolutely destroys him. What do you guys think of the Trick Williams idea? Number 3 is Logan Paul. This match prints money. Logan Paul, one of the biggest crossover stars from social media to WWE, and John Cena, one of the biggest mainstream stars currently in WWE. He's obviously a massive movie star, so we've got the social media icon versus the movie icon meeting in the middle where their circles connect, and that is wrestling. And I think the promos between these two could be absolutely fantastic, and I do think this would make for a pretty solid match. Number 2 is more storyline that leads to a match with a very specific person. So, John Cena obviously had his thing with Bray Wyatt, and I think John Cena could have a thing with the Wyatt Six now. Maybe the whole thing is, Uncle Howdy, you had your thing with Bray Wyatt and he tore you apart at the Firefly Funhouse. Now it's time for me to tear you apart, but I have some obstacles for you first. And he has to make his way through Joe Gacy. He has to make his way through Luke Harper. Why did I say Luke Harper? Rest in peace. I mean Eric Rowan. He has to make his way through Dexter Lumis. And then finally, maybe this could run a couple of PLEs. Finally, he gets his shot at Uncle Howdy. And I know WWE doesn't do cinematic matches anymore because obviously fans don't want to sit in the cinema. What am I saying today? Fans don't want to sit in their seats in the stadium and watch a match on the big screen. So I don't know if it could be a cinematic match, but if it could, I would definitely be into it. And the number 1, this is the only one where I'm slightly cheating, where I'm using someone John Cena may have had a feud with, and it was maybe a very prominent feud. And that is the person that should be John Cena's retirement match. And that is Randy Orton. Who else could it possibly be? It's gotta be Orton, right? Their careers have run such parallels, where both of them started at a very similar time. They were both pushed to the absolute main event. One 14-time champion, one 16-time champion. Could possibly be for a championship, but that couldn't then be a retirement match. There's so much depth to this story. So much you can tell with this story that I do think if WWE does not make this his retirement match, then they are definitely missing a beat. And if they don't at minimum make this one of his last matches, then that's money left behind. What do you guys think of my top 10 wrestlers that John Cena should still face? Obviously, take into account I couldn't use anybody that John Cena's had a prominent feud with. Let me know in the comment section what your 10 would be. Until next time, hope you enjoyed it. Peace.